Hello everyone, welcome back to the Shake and Bake Racing Ferrari Challenge, Week 4, our finale. One last trip around great circuits here within Italy and see how this championship shakes out. Let's take a look at where our drivers will be traversing this week as we head to Autodromo Internazionale del Mugello in Scarperia e San Piero, Italy. Drivers will race around 5.245 kilometers or 3.25 miles of tracks, 15 turns with a almost 3/4 mile long straight. Great track here should create an exciting finale here. Let's go ahead and take a look at our championship, see where things stand. As we come into week 4, after 3 weeks of racing, this is how things look so far. Vegeta standing strong at the top there, 260 points with Arib chasing him at 207. I do believe that the math shakes out. Vegeta has this locked up based on the participants and the points spreads. Barring 2 DNFs where he doesn't score any points, I think Vegeta is going to walk away with that. Arib following up there in second. JQ with a big jump coming back last week. Big jump up into third place currently. Doc behind him, 147 points there in fourth. Can't Find Cheese, 1 point off in fifth. And Gingy Grant up a position, 142. Cowmaster 1 point behind there. Tippy, 136 in 8th place. Reggio, who is, I believe, is of the amateur division drivers, is leading those. So 9th overall, but do believe is sitting first in the amateur division here. And next closest to that, I believe, is Enbert down in 12th. So between the two is 124 to just 10-point spread between the two. So we'll be keeping an eye on that to see how those shake out and if Reggio can hold on to that for the amateur division. Yeah, so the rest of the field, there's definitely some close positions throughout the field outside of that top spot, of course. And let's see, JQ's got a good, good 40-some. I think that's going to be a pretty challenging feat to make up over Arib as well. Again, barring, really rough results for Arib in both sessions. That top three might be secured. We could see, Doc, Cheese, Gingy, Cow even, them being just 20-some points off, not even. Any of them could find themselves into that final third spot on the podium. So we'll pay attention to that as we go along. Quali is underway. We're coming down to about 10 minutes to go, so let's hop over to that and see how times are shaking out for that. Riding along with our current championship leader here, Vegeta, who's getting his laps going, has come in with a 154.477 for his current best. JQ is out front with a 153.7, so that is where he's setting the pace so far. Tippy behind with a 154.1, but plenty of time left in our qualifying session here, and I imagine we will see more improvement from these times and things tighten up, and some of these positions will shuffle around. 10 drivers here on the grid this evening, so we've had a few fall off throughout the challenge, but good to see a good steady number of participants as we've gone along. That's Tippy here in the yellow, chasing down Enbert in the red. Maybe seeing if he can sneak off a little draft and gain a little extra. He comes around turn 15 there onto that main straight towards the finish. See if that in fact draft off of Enbert helped at all as he comes across the line. Not much there, 155 on that, so he's a good second off of where he previously was. Doc picking up some pace into the 154. Holding in fourth currently. Arib down in fifth, so that was, he's, I believe, locked second place, so it's going to be, JQ, Doc, Gingy, Kyle, those are going to be the ones to watch and see how those 3-4 shake out. If they can get after that final podium position. On board with Kyle here, coming down the front stretch, the main stretch, towards the finish line. See where he comes across. 156.7. 156.5, a personal best for him in the session. So improving a little bit. The JQ still sitting on top with that 153.7. So set a very, very strong lap there, and everyone else is doing their best to chase him down. Watch Reggio, amateur division leader, current leader, come across the finish line here. See if he can find any improvement on his lap. And a little bit as he goes up to 7th overall at 156.051. So nipping close to the 55s. It'd be important to have good, consistent, and clean pace, clean laps for him to hold on to things. As it is not out of reach. Or I believe it was Enbert was the next in line in that amateur division. Ginger here down the final turn towards that front stretch, seeing for an improvement himself. 155.46 is his current best. And he does 155.029, so he gets a little bit more out of that. Up to 6th place in qualifying so far as we come under 5 minutes to go in the session. Drivers have just time for a few more laps at best. Outlap, maybe a couple hot laps, flyers if that's what they're after. JQ further improving, 153.365 on his last lap. Really finding the pace. As we take a look in on him running around here as he's coming around that final turn towards the front stretch, see if there's any further improvements. Outlap there as it's 236, so looking for a flyer this one. We'll keep an eye out and see how things turn out for him. He comes around towards the end. Tippy here with Shaughnessy close behind. No improvement from either of them. Vegeta's stuck in that third position, pole position for third position for qualifying. 154.3 is where he is currently at, so it's almost just a hair under a second off of JQ. So JQ has really found some pace here, and a lot of ground to make up. But of course, consistency is a big factor. Tends to be just that across the races. 2 races here. For anyone that might just be joining us, we'll have 2 races here, 30 minutes each. That second race will be reverse grid, down to 10 positions. We only have 10 drivers, so it'll be a full reverse grid, barring any very late additions, but I think this is it. So we'll see how that one shakes out. Vegeta down the line here, seeing for some improvement. And a little bit, 154.176, but still holding that third position strong. Doc nipping at his heels. 154.4 is where he's at. So very close, but not close enough. We catch up with Tippy just as he crosses, and 154.017 just outside of that 153 mark. Just trying to widen the gap. It's only 6 hundredths. 16 hundredths away from Vegeta is the buffer there, so not very much at all. As we'll go into our race one here with a minute to go. Anyone that's not on out there on their laps already probably won't see any more, but Reed just crossing the line a bit ago with personal improvement there, 154.191. So pretty tight amongst these top four. Well, the top three outside of first place, that is, within hundredths, tenths of each other. And we'll see how that battle plays out. If they can, if they're fighting gets in the way of advancement. We've definitely seen in the past few weeks some paint being traded amongst everyone, and had some moments here and there at some of our drivers have fallen victim of that, and it's hurt some races, but there's been good recoveries as well. I think overall it's been a very fun and exciting series to watch and enjoy. Lots of good racing throughout the whole field, all the way down through everyone here. So qualifying is over. We are in overtime as things finish up for anyone still on the track, trying to get one last little lap in here. Let's take a peek at anyone else. Looks like Reggio may be our last one in. We'll stay with him as he comes across the finish line. Seeing some improvements in times, but not much movement in the standing for quali. Reggio down the main straight here, see if he has anything extra in it. $155.76 for him, so a little improvement there. Still stays in that 7th position. Few minutes as we count down and wait for race one to begin. Lights coming on as we get ready to head to our formation lap for race 1. Take a look at our standings for the race. They shake out here in a little bit. JQ with that very impressive very impressive lap time there in the 53s. Out front on pole, Tippy in the bright yellow right behind him. And right behind is Vegeta, our current championship leader there. Ari behind in 4th, Dak in 5th, Gingy in 6th, Cowmaster, one of our 2 blue Ferraris out there, in 7th. Reggio, our amateur division leader in the black Ferrari, in 8th place. Shaughnessy, our other blue Ferrari, in 9th. And Enbert, the other challenger to the amateur division, bringing up the rear. So, if things stayed like this, that grid would be fully reversed come the next race. We'll see how things shake out across these next 30 minutes or so. Our drivers come down to turn 15. Begin their doubling up to prepare for green flag. JQ with the call, our pole sitter. Got a long stretch here. We'll see how turn 1 goes. We've had a lot of history of safety cars in our past few weeks. We are green here. Week 4, Mugello Ferrari Challenge, Shake and Bake Racing. Drivers flying off down this front stretch, spreading out 2 wide, 3 wide at some points. And we come into that first turn, and looks like we stay clean. It's coming around to turn 2. Little bumping, but nothing egregious. We are racing out here as the pack stays relatively close. Trying to find their feet. Everyone managing those colder tires on these first laps. Just waiting to settle in, find a rhythm, find a groove, and then wait for opportunities to move up in the ranks. We've got Cow and Doc here, a little battling as, Cow unfortunately off wide there. It's going to make him fall back, unfortunately, but lots of race left. We have a little over 25 minutes to go. Definitely opportunity to catch back up and regain some of that. Reggio, unfortunately, at the back, did not catch what happened. He is well off. He's 7 seconds behind Enbert. So, had an incident there that we missed, unfortunately. But that is going to be trouble, as there's only 10 points, I think 10, 20 points, if that, between him and Enbert for the amateur division. So he'll want to make up that ground as best as possible and see how he can minimize the damages there. We look back in on JQ, our current race leader, as we go through lap 1, pulling Tippy behind. As Tippy goes in for a dive and a nice little bump. Hey, I'm here. Definitely some aggressive racing there, but they both keep it on the track. Tippy dipping a tire there. May have set him off a little bit. He loses the advantage he had, and JQ pulls back out front. They know they have to be clean, be perfect to chase after JQ after his very impressive qualifying there. Vegeta catching back up. He was over a second behind Tippy, but has brought it almost a half a second, just trying to stay with this front pack. And just outside, just under a second in 4th place currently, Doc. Arib right behind him is the next main battle there. And as mentioned, Doc is in that fight for that final 3rd spot in the championship. I do believe JQ was the other one in there, and so JQ out front, that's going to be a tough one to overcome and take that away. We've got Enbert tight on Cowmaster there. Maybe a little bump. Maybe getting a little too close. But Cow working to make up those positions after that going off track and losing a lot there. As he sits 4 seconds, over 4 seconds behind 7th place. And Reggio down to 4 seconds behind, so he's making up ground. That's good to see. Definitely making up a lot of ground. Catch back up to Enbert and the others. We look back at JQ pulling away 1.5 seconds gap between him and Tippy. Definitely pulling away. Not sure if Tippy's playing a little defense there with Vegeta that is slowing him up. Not allowing the advancement he would want towards the 1st spot. And Vegeta, of course, wants to get around. Likely has, I do believe mathematically, has this thing wrapped up, Vegeta. But, you still want to finish strong. Still is going to want to, be on the podium and, in that 1st spot. So there's still pride involved, and he'll definitely be pushing to have the best results as he can in this final week. Looking back a little bit, we have Arib chasing down Doc there, about a half second between the pair. Arib also very likely having that 2nd position locked up in the championship, barring some wild results here. But again, also likely wanting to just finish as strong as possible as he closes in tightly with Doc and potentially looks for an opportunity as they roll around last turn here towards the front straight. See if he has a good exit here. Maybe utilizes a little of the draft to then push for an overtake. Out front, JQ, fastest lap. He's into the 53s, 153.874 with that last lap. So he's finding the pace and really making it difficult for those behind him to stay caught up as Tippy's falling a little over 1.5 seconds behind. Reggio now 1.5 seconds, almost a second behind Enbert, so has made up a lot of ground there. Definitely going to chase down his amateur division rival, try and get ahead of him and just make sure, he only has to finish 1 spot ahead of Enbert, and that should be locked up. So stays clean, stays consistent. The way things are going with that pace, I think he'll be able to do that as he closes in almost half a second here. This battle between Arib and Dak stays tight as he's keeping it within just a few tenths. Coming around turn 12 here. Second to last hairpin into Biondetti 1 and 2. Uno and Due. See if he once again can find an opportunity down the front stretch to pick up that extra position. Really close back with Reggio and Enbert. Pop back here and see. Reeb with the run down the line. Not enough to get past. Let's go back to Reggio here. See if he has an opportunity down the straight. He's really close. Just a couple tenths behind. Using the draft. He pulls over to the side, goes for the move, and as they run into the corner, Enbert is going to hold it. Reggio staying outside. But that gives Reggio the inside on the next turn. Staying side by side, waiting for the opportunity. Reggio allows Enbert to stay ahead. Feel like this is only a matter of time. Reggio with a little bit later on the braking there to get in on the inside of that turn as they come around to 6 here. And gets his nose ahead. Enbert off into the grass. That is really going to... Oh. That was a rough off track for him. So he'll be playing catch up now. Reggio overtaking that spot. What he's after. So it was clean. All clean. Enbert with that little slip up. Reeb here tight once again on Doc. Just looking for that opportunity to come around again to turn 15. That last hairpin towards the front stretch. Trying to see if he can find an opportunity to get past. Plenty of patience here, but maybe that's running out, and seeing if that'll turn into frustration. He's just not able to get past this black Ferrari in front of him. Oh, when he goes wide, that is definitely going to hurt his fight. Maybe a little of the commentator's curse there. Apologies. He will have to make up some ground there to see if he can get back. That allows Gingy to gain a little bit, but Gingy's, over 1.5 seconds, almost 2 seconds behind there. So the field is quite spread out at this point. Our closest battle right now is Vegeta, who's almost a second behind Tippy. Tippy almost 3 seconds behind JQ. JQ has just really ran away with it so far. As we come down towards 16 minutes left in the race. JQ with a 153.512 for his fastest lap of the session. Tippy into the 153.9. Vegeta's still not finding the 53s. He's at a 154.073, so really close, but just not there yet. It's pretty spread out overall, however, and it's going to take some mistakes from drivers within the field for things to tighten back up and people to find some opportunities to gain some positions from where we're at. Reeb about 1.5 seconds, working to push to 1.5 seconds behind Doc. He's fluctuating between that and 2 seconds. He's well over 2 seconds when he went off track. He's trying to make up some ground. But their fight was close, and it was tough to find any opportunity around Doc, so there's definitely, you know, some good comparability between their pace. And, you know, sometimes it's just tough to get around a car. And Reeb was really having to push. We just saw a little bit of off track again there. That is not going to help in his attempt to catch back up. Doc seemingly has been pretty clean so far. Watch from his tail. As Reeb tries to hunt him down, but still almost 2 seconds away. Gonna be pretty tough to make up that gap. Sit on board with Reeb here as he chases down Doc. They come around to that front stretch, almost closing in on 1.5 seconds back. He's going to have to be very clean the rest of this race. Coming on 13 minutes to go. Still plenty of time. But still plenty of ground to make up. Back up towards the front. Take a look in on Vegeta as he holding steady, but 1.5 seconds back from Tippy. Not really finding any ground himself. And JQ just continues to increase his lead over second place. Over 3.5 seconds. Just out here, hot lapping. Seemingly a little bit extra something in his car today compared to the others. Shaughnessy here must have had an incident as he's fallen back to the rear. Really tight on Enbert. So making up for that. Usually has some decent pace here. So he can hold on to things and just find an opportunity to get around the red Ferrari in front of him. They head around turn 11 towards second to last hairpin of 12. Staying patient, waiting for an opportunity. Running through Beyond Uno, Beyond Due. 13 and 14 towards 15, final turn. A lot better exit there. Goes for outside. Enbert pulls back though. We'll see how the exit is out of 15 here through the front stretch and if he is able to get past him and regain a little ground that he had lost. Sits in the draft for a while and waits and then pulls off. Nice drag down there between the two. Enbert staying tight to the inside. Shaughnessy getting a little bit of a better run on the out, bring him to the inside on the next turn. Great back and forth between the two, keeping it clean, keeping it honest. Enbert maybe with a little bit of a touch. I don't know if it was a touch or got a little spooked. Oh, and he goes in very close there. Fighting for everything, but Shaughnessy is able to pull it out and pull away and they work to continue any further ground to make up, but a good 20, almost 20 seconds behind 8th place. Shaughnessy and Enbert are there, so going to be really tough to make that up. Reggio saying here pretty comfortably in that 8th position. He's 9 seconds behind 7th, so probably won't see much improvement there from him, but enjoying the position where he's at, I'm sure, compared to his amateur division rivals. Arib has tightened up, maybe a slip up from Doc that we had missed. Arib is overtaken his middle of the pack rival that it's been this race. So we'll see how this goes. This has been a great fight earlier on. Arib, of course, going off track and falling behind, and I can only assume that Doc had an incident himself to cause that gap to tighten up as it did. Keep an eye on this and see how that shakes out towards the end. If Doc can, you know, fight back and get back to that 4th spot. JQ almost 5.5 seconds out front as we come to 8 minutes to go in the session. Barring tragedy, I think he will bring this one home. Tippy right behind, doing his best to maintain that gap between him and Vegeta with a little over 1.5 second advantage. Behind the championship leader there, Vegeta behind. And Arib 6+ seconds behind 3rd there, so just outside the podium. But of course, as mentioned, Doc is on his tail, trying to gain that spot back. There is as I mentioned earlier, there's a good fight for that 3rd spot in the championship. Arib is not part of that, so Doc will want to get past him and get every point he can. See if he can fight for that. Shaughnessy finds himself at the back again, so another slip up perhaps as he falls behind Enbert. And has to restart this fight all over again as they come down that main straight. As it stands, he would sit on pole in the 2nd race as our grid reverses, but that can be a challenging fight to maintain on the front. So, you know, I think you want every point you can get in every race. Takes a look on the inside here, but does not have enough in it to go, and maybe tries for the switch around. Pulling up alongside, just back and forth behind Enbert there. Waiting for the opportunity. They come around to turn 10 here. This last little section of the circuit here. See if he is able to pull off a move before we run to that main straight, or if that's where we see things shake out. Reggio here closing in on Cow, so potentially a slip up there. Cow has fallen 21 seconds behind Gingy, so Cow must have had a slip up as Reggio's gain, as I think Reggio was about 8-9 seconds behind originally, so it could be a a potential interesting change in position here between these two. Reggio keeping it clean so far since his previous incidents at the beginning of the race. As we saw, we missed the incident, but he had fallen well off into last place after the first lap or so and has fought back well. Potentially seeing another opportunity in front of him. Honestly, working to get past, and I think he gets ahead of Enbert. Enbert was a little off there. Not sure if that was just the two drivers being a little close. Really fighting with each other. Shaughnessy overtakes that one, and oh, Enbert off into the grass, into the wall, and the gravel. Rough hit there, just lost it on that turn, so that is going to give Shaughnessy a comfortable distance between the two. So as long as he stays clean here, as we fall under 4 minutes to go, that position should stay pretty well there. Reggio falling to about 1.5 seconds behind Cow. Opportunity slipping away there for an extra position by him, but opportunity still could show itself. JQ just continues to run away with it. Almost 7.5 seconds out in front now. Staying clean. Staying consistent. Tippy furthering his gap ahead of Vegeta. Vegeta now almost 3 seconds behind Tippy there. Really, things have really spread out as we come down to towards the 2-minute mark remaining here. Likely not many other position changes other than any incidents that might happen if any slip-ups. It is towards the end of the race. All these drivers have been racing pretty hard, so if there's any heavy tire wear that they're seeing, gotta make sure they manage that into these final laps. Make sure they don't have a slip up and cost them when things are looking pretty comfortable. Take a look at Doc here, trying to chase down Arib. Arib is running away from him, though. That battle seems to be over. Whatever that slip-up was by Doc, fortunately pretty lethal to his position in the race for that 4th spot. Arib seems to be getting away. Good 2-second buffer between the two. All under 30 seconds remaining in the session, and we have hit white flag, and unfortunately, as we are on board with Doc, heavy off track there, huge spin into the wall. That is not going to feel good, and that's going to allow Gingy come up here and potentially nab an easy spot, but he slows down and uses some caution, waiting for the other car to come on track, but then overtakes there. So a position being dropped by Doc there, and that's going to hurt his chances into the final, the championship there. Look in on JQ is caught up to Enbert. I got confused a second there, seeing Ferraris next to each other with JQ, but he is caught up to Enbert, who's at the rear. So hopefully, you know, is patient. There's no reason for him to force an overtake. Enbert moving out of the way, though, respectfully allowing the race leader to move ahead. We take a look in on Cal that has fallen back behind Reggio, so must have had a slip up himself. So Reggio has nabbed an extra position here as we come into the last lap. Let's go in, look at JQ as our leader comes across with a very impressive first race outing here. 8 seconds ahead of second place. He's been consistent, he's been clean. He'll bring it home, and I see some movement back. Second place, Vegeta caught up to Tippy. These two are now fighting with each other. It is a drag down to the line. Oh, and Vegeta is going to nab at the last second. Sounds like Tippy had an incident there, unfortunately. Reeb's going to come across the line in fourth. We have Gingy and Doc. Fifth and sixth, it should be there. Reggio should have that seventh position. Cal behind him with a late slip up, unfortunately, there in ninth. Shaughnessy will be 10th. And Enbert, who's showing seventh, but he is a lap down in 10th place. We'll start on pole for race 2. So, some good action here and there throughout the race. But a very impressive drive from JQ as we go, and we'll wait for race 2. We sit in to race 2. Lineup is most drivers are on the grid. We are here in on Enbert's pole position. We'll see how things shake out for race 2 and what he can do to hold that. Be a tall order. Lights are out and we are off for our formation lap in race 2, our final race of the Ferrari Challenge. And we double up for the last time in this series. We come around turn 15 to the front stretch. Enbert on pole will have the green flag call here. We will see how things shake out here in this second race as our drivers head down to that first turn. Oh, we spread out 3, 4 wide. Maybe 5 wide. Cow and Shaughnessy getting up alongside Enbert and all over the place. We'll see how... Oh, somebody way off. I think that's Reggio wall riding. But no gained advantage there. It's like Cow out front taking advantage of that start and is going to pull away. But we have a safety car here. First one of the week. Definitely a little shaky at that that start there. But I think this is you know, it's early, it's lap 1, but I think drivers definitely welcome the slowdown here. We do have Tree has joined in for the second race. So we have one additional driver on the field. See what that does to battles throughout the session, throughout the race. Safety car ending here in 10 seconds, and Cow will have the call. We run around turn 12 towards the Biondettis. There we go, green flag. We are racing again as we take off. Cow with a good jump there. We'll want to stay ahead of the pack, ahead of the mess, as the swarm behind him does their best to navigate each other. And we have a pair off in the back. I think that is Enbert and it looked like Gingy. No safety car from that. Seems to be minimal contact within those involved with each other to not bring another one out. Arib with a good run down the front stretch, attacking Cow around the outside, going for push past him, and as he come into turn 2, gets ahead. We go back and forth on these left and back and forth turns. Arib is going to take that position, sits on first here in race 2. Very, very tight all throughout the field for the most part in this first bit of the race. Arib trying to pull away. Cow holding second. Tippy there in third. Shaughnessy in fourth. Vegeta back in fifth. Dak right there behind him in sixth. JQ in seventh. JQ, of course, started last there with the reverse grid, doing his best to make up ground. Reggio in 8th. Currently, Tree, Gingy, and Enbert rounding out the rest of the field. Enbert fallen off the most in the pack. 3.5 seconds, almost 4 seconds there. Tippy and Cow with a close fight going for that second spot, allowing Arib to run away a little bit. See some movement in the back there as Vegeta hunts down Shaughnessy. I think JQ is making some moves. He's fighting with Dak. Does look like he gets past. And Vegeta there, tight on Shaughnessy, waiting for the opportunity. Swings outside and runs along front stretch. Their speeds level out and they go tight into turn 1. Shaughnessy stays to the inside and holds a position. Vegeta with the switchback trying to get back with a good bump with each other. Shaughnessy holding on to the position. Doc with a step off. That's going to hurt his fight with JQ. Tippy working to stay tight with Cow. Doc tight on Shaughnessy. Vegeta clearing the blue Ferrari ahead of them. Doc seeing if he can be the next to overtake the blue Ferrari in front of him. Gain a position there. JQ down to 10th, must have had an incident, and he has fallen back 2 seconds off of Tree. Lots of ground to make up. I'm not sure if this has an impact. I think with the last race, JQ has locked up the championship in third place, third position there. I think that gap was just too much. I believe it was 20 points difference going into it between him and Doc. Winning, I think, is just too much to overcome. We'll see how it shakes out towards the end. But he does have some ground to make up. This could get interesting. Let's hop in with Tippy here as he chases down Cow, looking to find that second spot in race 2. Reeb just finding more and more opportunity to pull away from the two behind that are fighting. Reeb holding a current fast lap as 1:54.648. Take a look at Shaughnessy here as he goes after Reggio. Take a peek at Reggio from the rear as Shaughnessy hunts him down. With Gingy in the distance, and then JQ and Tree behind him. JQ again working to try and make up for that incident there. His best opportunity, of course, was going to be off the start to make up the ground from 10th, but as the field begins to spread out, it's going to be harder and harder for him to get back. JQ, that is. Activity up front as Tippy and Vegeta tight together. Vegeta overtaking the yellow Ferrari, and they are looking to close in on Cow in front of them and steal a second place. See if they work together or if their fighting puts off any opportunity to advance. JQ within second of Gingy there. 8th place, hunting down 7th. If he can clear him, then he will have Reggio about another second, almost a second there in front of him, but then 4 seconds there to make up to 5th to Doc. So still a big gap to make up. We come down to about 7 minutes to go in the race. Take a peek here at our front 4. Tippy and Vegeta working to try and catch up to Cow and nab that second position. Vegeta with a strong lunge and gets just ahead of Cow, tight to the outside, swings around, gets the advantage towards the inside of this turn 3 here, turn 2 I should say, into turn 3, gets the advantage and begins to pull away. Tippy now next alongside Cow and is able to make the lunge but goes a little wide, dips some tires. That's going to set him back to where he was behind the blue Ferrari in front. A little bit of battling there, maybe keeping Doc in it behind them. Maybe he'll see an opportunity to nab an extra position. Great battle here. Another one as we look back at JQ watching Reggio and Gingy really tight and close, maybe waiting for an opportunity for a slip up between those two. Gaining a couple positions. The gap behind 5th, Doc ahead, is slowly increasing, so he's got to get around these two if he wants to make up any further ground. Tough to get around one car at times, even tougher to get around two. Gingy and Reggio side by side with a bump, and a little bit of a bump off track there. I think that's Reggio that goes off. Unfortunately there, that allows JQ the 3 position and now allows him to hunt down Gingy in front of him and get past. Looks like a potential slip up here by Cow as he's fallen back to 5th. Goes outside of Doc as the two drag down the front stretch. Doc with the inside, holding that position. We'll see where he goes into turn 2. Keeping that inside line, doing his best to hold off his fellow competitor behind him. Pay attention to this battle. Things are starting to spread out front, however. Arib, over 2 seconds, almost 2.5 seconds out front. All come down to consistency here. Vegeta trying his best to stay close and decrease that gap. Tippy almost 2 seconds behind Vegeta there, so things are starting to spread out at the front. JQ nabs the fastest lap overall of the session at a 154.149. So really putting in that work. He's gotten past Gingy and now has a little over 4-second gap to make up to catch Cow in 5th. So we'll see what he's able to do. You can see him in the distance. Just a matter of how quickly he can close him down. As he comes around here. Turn 12 towards Biondetti's 13 and 14, and then into that final hairpin of 15 in the front straight. Seeing the cars in front of him, Cow and Doc, who are battling with each other. He's under almost 3.5 seconds now. That gap is closing heavily. He has a strong exit here down the front straight. He'll make up some ground, so we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that one and see how much he's able to make up. Cow falling off a little bit from his fight with Doc there, falling a little over a second. Things have started to stretch out across the field. Arib continues to stay out front, falling under 2 seconds of a gap between him and Vegeta. So Vegeta making up some ground here. Potentially an opportunity for a late lunge towards the front. Vegeta, that is, as we fall under 12 minutes to go in the race, our final race of the series. Tippy doing his best back in 3rd to try and stay with the pack as well. Trying to close it to within a second, dancing just outside of that. We've seen this trio fight up front all series, all season. It's been great to watch. Hopefully things will tighten up a little bit more and we'll see a good fight towards the finish. JQ down to 1.5 seconds behind Cow there in 5th, so very well in striking distance. I think at the pace stays up. JQ has hit 153s, 153.7. So he comes around 15 here towards the front stretch. See what his pace is looking at for this lap. And a 154, so not his fastest, but still doing well. Cow had just done a 156.1, so there's a 2-second difference between the two on that lap. which is contributing obviously to this catch-up that we're seeing here. JQ within a second of that 5th place. Might simply be a matter of time. Tippy within a second of Vegeta there. Vegeta 1.5 seconds back from Arib. So they are pushing, coming down to 10 minutes to go in the race. Hoping for an opportunity here to nab something at the end. Still plenty of time. Vegeta will have to make sure that he keeps his eyes forward and doesn't let the bright yellow Ferrari behind him get in his way of his goal, become a distraction. See as Tippy works to catch up closely. Tippy a little later on the brakes there, trying to find an opportunity pass, really closing that gap, getting it down within a half a second. Doing all he can. Let's look in at JQ as he chases down Cow here. Oh, Cow off in the sand. Did the broadcast claim another victim? Cow gets back onto track and works towards a recovery. JQ sitting in 5th place, 3 seconds behind Doc in 4th. Under 9 minutes to go. Taking a look at last laps, Doc was across the line with a 154.99, JQ with a 154.63, so 0.3 there was the difference. Needs a lot more than that difference between the two to make up, to gain another position here in this race, but we'll see how it goes. There is a little over 8 minutes left, plenty of opportunity. Tippy continues to keep it close with Vegeta, under a half a second here. Vegeta not finding any time on Arib out front, however. Ticking, maybe 1 or 2 tenths closer at a time, but it's been tough. I think he potentially is, he's having to deal with the individual behind him. Despite, I'm sure, the goal being to try and catch the leader and take that spot. Tippy just a few tenths within Vegeta there as they go into the last turn of the lap. And they rush down the front stretch. Let's see if you can find any advantage within the draft of Vegeta. Flashing the lights, just playing a little games. Goes in for the lunge, down into turn 1, and makes it stick side by side. Gets a little bit ahead. Vegeta takes it back. These two are glued door to door. Great fight here, but this is absolutely going to allow Reeb to run away a little bit. The more these fight. Nice clean turn there. Little bump. But Tippy gets out in front of Vegeta. Great little battle back and forth there. Bumping, letting each other know they're there, but otherwise respectable and clean. We'll see if Tippy can do anything to make up the ground here on Arib as we come to 6 minutes to go into the 6 minutes remaining in the race here. As Tippy falls almost 2 seconds back from Arib. I think that's going to be tough order to make up, barring any incidents from the front runner. As well as having to hold off Vegeta. I think that's going to be the fight there, is for that second position between these two. JQ, 4th place here. So he caught up. Maybe there were some slip-ups in front of him because I think he was going after Doc. So Doc is back under 2 seconds. So potentially a slip-up there that's allowed a quick exchange because I can't imagine he had just simply made that up. But, you know, the pace was there. 4 seconds back on Vegeta, though. We have 5 minutes to go. We are definitely not seeing that much of a catch-up. 4 seconds. We have probably 2 laps to go, 3 laps to go. Great recovery by JQ, starting from the back at the beginning and then the fall off at one point. Definitely an impressive run there. I'm quite certain locks up that 3rd position in the championship there. Vegeta falling back to almost 1 second off of Tippy in 2nd place. That battle seems to have thinned out a little bit. 4 minutes to go in our race. As they come around turn 12 here. 2nd to last hairpin. 1, maybe 2 more laps after this. As both 2nd and 3rd fall a second apart of each other. Tippy closing the gap, though, within a second of Arib. He is consistent here. As we come across the line here, we'll take a look at our timings and see how things are running. Arib across the line, 55.5, half a second difference there. So it might not be enough. Tippy is, going to push. I'm certain of that. We'll just see if that is, if he can do enough. I think it's going to take a slip up from Arib for anything to change, but we have seen plenty of that in the previous session. But otherwise, things are very, very spread out. These things, the intervals look almost more like gaps as we go down the line there. Pretty spread out. Reggio here in 8th, mostly by himself. Just trying to stay clean there. I believe Enbert has fallen back to the a lap down. Definitely found some struggles there. And so that, I believe, will lock up the amateur division title for Reggio, which I believe makes back-to-back in SBR for the Canadian driver. So congratulations to him on that. JQ pulling it within 2.5 seconds to 3rd place. We come to white flag, however. This is going to be it. Probably not enough for much further advancement throughout the field, barring anything crazy. We watch as Vegeta hunts down Tippy for that 2nd position within a second, but it's been a tough one. He hasn't really made up much ground there. Tippy, I think, has been clean, consistent ahead of him. See if he gets a little aggressive, Vegeta that is, and goes for some late braking. I imagine late race, tires showing their age, I'm sure. They'll want to just make sure they can stay clean and get across the line, hold the position they have, and put this one to bed. Come around turn 9, heading towards 10 and 11. Final last few turns towards the stretch. Zarib has done well, looked good for race 2 to get out in front. And it's clear path before you. It's tough to tough for the others behind to catch up and get past that. So hats off to him for his victory here as he comes into the final turn, as he keeps that clean. Winner for race 2, Arib, following up Arib, who locks up second place in the championship. Tippy there in second of this race, sorry. Vegeta, your Ferrari Challenge champion, takes that final podium spot. And JQ comes across in 4th with the little antics there at the end. Doc here in 5th. Gingy in 6th. Cow across the line in 7th. Reggio, your amateur division champion, taking 8th place there. Tree showing up for a second race, late race there. It's going to come across 9th place. Enbert a couple laps down alongside him, and Shaughnessy with a rough second outing will round up 10th place himself. Well, that will bring us to the end of the Shake and Bake Racing Ferrari Challenge. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out, for coming out and watching. It's been a lot of fun to broadcast. Hope you've enjoyed the races, watching them with us. Definitely lots of great racing there amongst everyone. And congrats to our champions, to our winners each week. We will see what we get into in our next series. I think I'm going to hop into the car for the next series, but should at least stream that potentially. But I've had a lot of fun doing the broadcast and definitely want to get back to another one. So keep an eye out for that. And thanks again.